The Maghreb Sea and that tenement crater definitely could have triggered some type of incident, and that's why you see these sand striations going on both sides of it. Don't forget, the Richat structure is the highest structure, 700 meters high. And when that tenement crater went off right there on this big hard piece of bedrock, that ancient lake just flew right down the Taman-Seret River Basin on both sides, directly towards the eye of the Sahara. Hello everybody, and welcome to a final video about the Atlantis Richat structure. Let's take another look at some ancient maps very quickly before I make my main point. These little areas, especially Cape Blanco, Cape Myrick, very important because those are the two river outlets that I want to talk about. And you can see them here and here and here as well. There's Cape Verde down there, so the Senegal River, but up above you can see these two ancient river outlets that are non-existent today. Now these maps are after Atlantis, but what they are showing is certain rivers coming out just south of the Atlas Mountains, and even a lake that's north of the Hodeni village here. This is where you can find other proof that there's a village after Atlantis in the Richat structure. 1584, look at all those polywog-shaped lakes that were just south of the Atlas Mountains. Hoden is here, so you've got lakes just above this area here. And even in this ancient map, you can find these polywog-shaped lakes here just south of the Atlas Mountains. Rivers coming from mountains going all the way across the Sahara, the same thing. A lake on the west coast. And is that the Senegal River? That's questionable. Here is a basic map of the Atlas Mountains area and the Nile coming from it. And here you can see another ancient lake just north of Senegal and just south of the Atlas Mountains. And it says right there, if you follow that river down, it says Nilus ex Atlante profluens. It means the Nile from the Atlantis. They're showing it going right into the Nile. Here it says Atlantis right on the map. This one as well, it's the same Herodity map. Atlantis and Atarantis, twins. And here's a map of the Sahara Desert now. No lakes, except for some small ones up here in the corner. This relief map is pretty good, and I'm going to use it a couple times. First, I want to show you the Taman-Seret River Basin here, and that is coming right out north of Cape Myrick and south of Cape Blanco, if you see. That's the big outlet. Important because when you look at the Richat structure, you can see that things that pass on the north side of it would come out there, and things that pass on the south side of it would come out below Cape Myrick. And what about our Richat structure? Whatever happened to that? Did Atlantis sink into the ocean? Well, I don't believe so. In fact, I don't think that this coast has changed much in the last 20,000 years, and nor does mainstream science. And remember that this area here, when you look at it, it was quite tall. Let's look at some renderings of ancient lakes, especially this one. Look at that. Lake Chad, it's very similar here to in here. Lake Megachad. And Lake Megafezzen, well, if you take a look, you can see some similarities between this Lake Fezzen right here. So Megafezzen, the same lake, Lake Chad. Now this is 10,000 years ago, but who's to say that it didn't form before that? We've got all these ancient lakes that existed in Africa. That Maghreb Sea right there, the alignment of that, you can see where that Maghreb Sea would have fallen inside this area that's lower than the other areas. The Maghreb Sea was located there, and its correlation to the Richat structure is very clear. In fact, the rivers line right up. And what could have triggered this sea to go over the Atlantis? Well, just 200 kilometers away is the Tenement crater. It's right here. It's located in that big, huge bedrock mountain that I showed you. And it's located just 225 kilometers north of the Richat structure. Seeing that this is all located on a ley line of energy throughout the Earth, especially the same one that all these other megalithic structures are laid across, perhaps our previous equator, the Maghreb Sea and that tenement crater definitely could have been triggered in some type of incident, and that's why you see these sand striations going on both sides of it. Don't forget, the Richat structure is the highest structure. You can see a little bit of the same altitudes over here in the Atlas Mountains, but this is 700 meters high. And when that Tenamore crater went off right there on this big hard piece of bedrock, that ancient lake just flew right down the Tamansaret River Basin on both sides directly towards the eye of the Sahara onto the ocean. And you can see that all these striations start here. Give you a couple of different views of those sand striations. They don't come down here. They start right up here and go straight down. So maybe there was more ancient lake there too. So what caused the decline of Atlantis? Perhaps it was a crater 20,000 to 9,000 years ago. It says 21.4 plus or minus 9. So that means that it could have been 10,000 years ago. It could have been 30,000 years ago. The Atlantis Richat structure, this is the main point. You've got ancient lakes sitting right up above there that just flew right over everything. And we have the sand striations to prove it. Have a great day. I look forward to your comments below. Thank you very much.